Ravi walked down the long metal hallway of Space Station Amun, his toolbox in one hand and a data pad in the other. His job was simple: fix what was broken, clean what was dirty, and report anything that looked strange. Most days were quiet, but today felt different. The lights flickered in Dock Bay 9, and the air smelled sharp, like metal dust. He tapped his badge, and the heavy door slid open. Dock Bay 9 was not used much. It was cold and dark, filled with old cargo. Ravi turned on his flashlight and stepped inside. The sound of his boots echoed around the bay. He looked at his datapad. The sensor showed a power spike near the back. "Strange," he whispered. He moved between tall crates, checking wires and panels. Then he saw it. A silver crate sat in the corner, unlike the others. It hummed softly. A soft blue light blinked on its side. Ravi walked closer, kneeling beside it. The lid had no markings, no company tag, no ID. That was not allowed. Every box had to be logged. He placed his hand on the lid. It felt warm. Carefully, he opened the latch. Inside, something lay curled up, small and still. His breath caught. It was not human. It was a girl, or at least she looked like one. Half her skin was smooth and silver like polished stone. The other half was soft green, glowing faintly in the dark. Her eyes were shut, and her chest rose and fell slowly. A fine mist covered her body, as if she had been frozen or kept in deep sleep. Ravi stepped back in shock. "Is this a living being?" he said aloud. He quickly tapped his badge and called security. "This is Ravi in Dock Bay 9. I found something or someone in a crate. I think it's alive." Within minutes, the door slid open again. 2 guards entered, followed by Dr. Tanis, head of the science team. Her white coat flapped as she walked. "Show me," she said. Ravi led her to the crate. She looked inside, silent for a long time. Then she called for her team. They arrived with a stretcher, scanners, and cold cases. Without a word to Ravi, they lifted the girl out carefully and placed her inside a clear case. It sealed with a soft hiss. "Take her to Lab Section C," Tanis ordered. Ravi tried to speak. "Is she all right? Is she sick?" Tanis looked at him, sharp and cold. "That is not your concern." The team left, carrying the case. Ravi stood alone in Dock Bay 9, staring at the empty crate. He felt cold. The next day, the news spread quietly. Some said it was just a broken robot. Others said it was an alien, spy. Most people laughed and moved on, but Ravi could not forget what he saw. That girl had looked real. Her chest had moved. Her skin had shimmered. He walked to the lab area, trying to get answers. A red light blinked on the wall. "Staff only. No entry." Ravi waited outside. He saw people go in and out carrying tools, wires, and screens. He heard voices talking, fast and low. He caught a few words. Subject 9. Split body structure, half machine. Must study both sides. He felt his heart beat faster. "Split body?" he whispered. Later that night, Ravi sat alone in the mess hall. He stared at his food untouched. His friend Zaman sat across from him. "You all right?" Zaman asked. Ravi nodded slowly. "Do you know what they're doing in Lab C?" Zaman shook his head. "Rumors. Some say it's a fake. Others say it's real. They think she's dangerous." "I don't think she is," Ravi said. "I saw her. She looked scared. She looked alive." Zaman leaned closer. "Listen, don't get involved. If the top officers say cut it open, they'll cut it. Nothing we can do." Ravi didn't answer. He stood and walked out. That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept seeing the girl's face, half green, half silver, peaceful yet alone. The next morning, he went back to the lab door. It was locked again. But this time, he heard a soft sound, a whisper. "Help!" He froze. He pressed his ear to the wall. The voice came again, weak but clear. Help me. Ravi stepped back. It was real. She was alive. She was speaking. He ran to the command deck. I need to speak to Dr. Tanis. The officer at the desk frowned. Do you have an appointment? No, but it's urgent, Ravi said. Please. He waited for what felt like hours. Finally, Dr. Tanis arrived. Her eyes looked tired. What is it now? She asked. She spoke, Ravi said. The alien girl. I heard her. Tanis narrowed her eyes. You were near the lab door again? Yes, and I heard her whisper for help. Tanis folded her arms. The subject has vocal systems. Might be automatic, not proof of awareness. But she said help. That means something, Ravi said. Tanis turned away. You're a maintenance worker. Let us do our job. As she walked off, Ravi stood there, fists tight. He knew what he heard. He knew she was real. And he knew something had to be done. He turned and walked away, his mind set. Tomorrow, he would go back. He would not stay silent. The lights in Lab Section C stayed on all night. Inside the glass room, machines hummed and screens glowed. The alien girl, called Subject 9 by the science team, lay still inside a clear case. Wires connected to her head and chest. Her silver and green body shimmered under the soft lights. Small drops of liquid moved through clear tubes. Every few minutes, the machines beeped and made notes. Dr. Tanis stood behind a large screen reading the reports. She had not slept in 2 nights. Her eyes moved fast over the data. Each line showed something new. The girl's body was not just strange. It was impossible. One side was made of a living material they had never seen. The other side was not metal, but something soft like flesh, yet filled with tiny machines. A message flashed on her tablet. Incoming order. Earth Science Command Level. High priority directive. Begin internal study immediately. Priority. Brain. Core and central divider. Tanis read the order twice. She closed her eyes for a moment. Then she tapped the button to call her team. Prepare for procedure, she said. We begin tomorrow at first light. The next morning, Ravi returned to the lab area. He wore his worker's suit, holding a data pad to look busy. He stayed near the wall, trying to hear what the staff were saying. 2 workers passed by, talking softly. They're cutting her open? One asked. Yes, Dr. Tanis said they have to study both halves. The body is split down the center. They want to see how the 2 sides connect. Ravi's hands shook. He turned and left quickly. He walked down the hall, past the food court, past the rest zone. His feet carried him to Dock Bay 9, the place where he found her. The empty crate still sat in the corner. He stood there in silence. The image of her peaceful face came back to his mind. Her eyes were closed, but her chest moved. Then he remembered her voice. Help! He had heard it. No machine could cry like that. No recording could sound so weak, so real. He turned and walked back to his room. Inside, he opened his old notebook. He flipped through the pages until he found a sketch he drew last night. It showed her face, one side silver, one side green, and a small spark in her eye. He made a choice. He could not let them hurt her. Later that day, he returned to the lab. The hallway was empty. He pressed his ear to the wall. Nothing. Then he knocked, soft and careful. A camera above the door turned toward him. A voice came through the speaker. State your name. Ravi, maintenance team. You are not allowed here, the voice said. I just want to know if she's awake, Ravi said. I heard her voice. She asked for help. There was silence. Then the camera turned away. Ravi stood there for a long time. Finally, he walked back toward the worker dorm. That evening, Dr. Tanis met with her science team. The lab room was cold, filled with clean tools and sharp lights. She showed the full-body scan on the wall. This is the central divider, she said. pointing to the line that ran down the alien girl's body. It may hold the key to how the two sides function together. Earth Command wants a full internal study. Dr. Var, her assistant, raised a hand. What if she is awake? We do not have time to wait, Tanis replied. Every hour her systems shift. Her energy core is changing. If we wait, we may lose everything. Another voice spoke. Up. But what if she's aware of pain? Tanis looked at the group. This is not a person. This is a subject. Our job is to learn. Outside the lab, Ravi waited again. This time he had a small earpiece he made himself. It picked up low signals. He tuned it to the lab's outer wall. A small, soft sound came through. Not safe. Please. He dropped the earpiece. It hit the floor and rolled away, his eyes filled with fear. She was still speaking, still trying to reach someone. Ravi stood and ran. He ran to the crew center. He opened the door marked Observation Room. A large glass wall looked down at Lab Section C. From here, staff could watch the science team work. He stepped inside. It was dark and empty. He pressed his hands to the glass. Below, he saw her. She was still in the case, but her fingers were moving. Slowly, weakly. Her head turned slightly to the side, then she opened her eyes. Ravi pressed his hand to the glass. She looked straight at him. He could not hear her voice, but her lips moved. He read them clearly. Help me. Ravi turned and ran. He had no plan, no tools. Just his voice. He reached the lab door and hit the emergency panel. A loud alarm rang. Inside, Dr. Tanis and her team looked up. The door slid open. Ravi stepped in, breathing hard. Stop, he shouted. Wait, don't do it. Everyone turned toward him. What are you doing here? Tanis asked, angry. She's awake, Ravi said. She spoke to me. She knows what's happening. She's not a thing. She's a person. Tanis stared at him. The other scientists looked at one another. She looked at me, Ravi said. She's scared. You can't cut her. Please. For a moment, no one moved. Then, behind the glass, the girl raised her hand and placed it against the side of her case. Ravi stepped closer. She's asking for help. I heard her. I saw her. Please believe me. Dr. Tanis looked at the girl, then at Ravi. Her hands fell to her sides. She gave no order. The room stayed silent. Everyone in the lab stared at Ravi. His voice still echoed in the quiet room. The alien girl's hand pressed against the inside of her glass case. Her eyes were open now, wide and full of light. Dr. Tanis stood still. Her lips were tight and her hands were shaking just slightly. She had never expected a maintenance worker to stop her team. The other scientists looked from her to Ravi, unsure what to do. She's not just a subject, Ravi said again, more softly now. She's alive. She's feeling everything. Tanis stepped forward and looked at the girl through the glass. The two different sides of her body seemed to move together now. Her green fingers curled slightly, and the silver part of her face showed a spark of light, like emotion. She's reacting to him, Dr. Var said quietly. She looked at me, Ravi said. Before I ran in. From the observation room, I saw her mouth move. She said, "Help me." Tanis looked at the others. She was a scientist. She followed orders, but now something in her mind began to break from habit. She could not deny what she was seeing. The girl placed her hand flat on the glass, her palm wide. Slowly, Ravi walked toward her and placed his own hand on the other side. A faint glow formed between their hands. "What is that?" asked one of the younger staff. "Light transfer," said Tanis. "But I've never seen it do that before." Ravi stayed still. He could feel warmth through the glass. Not heat like fire. Warmth like life. Her eyes watched his face, and for a second, he saw sadness in them. Sadness and trust. "She's not dangerous," Ravi said. "She's afraid." Tanis took a slow breath. Then she walked to the console and turned off the power to the cutting tools. The lab lights dimmed slightly. "We hold the procedure," she said. Everyone looked up. "Are you sure?" asked Dr. Varr. "She is aware," Tanis said. "If we cut her now, we may be doing harm to a living mind." Ravi stepped back, thankful, but still alert. "We need to talk to her, not study her like a rock." Tanis nodded slowly. "You're right." The room stayed still for a moment longer. Then, one by one, the scientists returned to their seats and began writing notes, not for surgery, but for observation. Later, in the staff lounge, Tanis sat with Ravi. She poured 2 cups of hot tea and pushed one toward him. "I don't understand it," she said. "You heard her first. You spoke for her. Why you?" Ravi shook his head. "I don't know. Maybe she saw I wasn't afraid. Or maybe she felt I wanted to help." "You're not trained in xenology," she said. "Not even science. Yet she reached out to you. Sometimes you don't need science to see someone is hurting," Ravi said. Tanis looked at him for a long time. Maybe that's what we missed. Back in lab section C, the girl sat up in her glass case. Her body still moved slowly, but her strength was returning. She touched the glass again and looked around the room. The lights no longer hurt her eyes. The voices outside were calm now, not cold and sharp. Ravi came in with Tanis. They stood near the case. The girl tilted her head, curious. "She hasn't spoken again," Tanis said, "but her eyes follow only you." Ravi stepped closer. "Can you hear me?" he asked softly. The girl blinked once. Then her lips moved. The sound was soft, but it came clear. "Yes," Tanis gasped. She turned on the recorder and nodded to Ravi to keep speaking. "What's your name?" he asked. There was silence. Then the girl placed her hand on her chest and said, "Neri." Ravi smiled. "My name is Ravi. I'm your friend." The girl, Neri, closed her eyes for a moment. Then she whispered, "Thank you." Tanis watched carefully. She is forming full words now. This is no machine. Ravi turned to Neri again. "Why are you here? What happened?" Neri's body shook slightly, like she was remembering something painful. Then she raised one hand and touched the side of the glass. A small beam of light moved from her finger and created a floating image in the air. It showed a green world, full of tall trees and bright rivers. Many beings like Neri walked among them, their bodies shining in the sunlight. Then, dark ships arrived in the sky. Fire fell from above. The trees burned. The people ran. One by one, they were taken. The image ended with Neri inside a crate, her eyes closing as cold mist filled the box. Ravi stared at the image, his mouth dry. "You were taken," Neri nodded. "They wanted my halves." "Your body?" Tanis asked gently. Neri pointed to her silver side, then to her green side. "2 parts, together strong. A part dead." Tanis turned pale. They were going to cut her to get the parts. If they had done it, she would not have survived. Ravi's fists tightened. "That's why she was afraid." Tanis nodded. "Now we know. We must protect her." Neri looked at both of them. Then she reached her hand through a small hole in the case. She placed it gently on Ravi's hand. "Human kind," she said. Ravi looked at her. "You don't need to be afraid now." Inside the lab, the air felt calm for the first time since Neri had been found. She now sat upright in her case, watching everything. Her green eye blinked slowly, and her silver eye stayed open without moving. It was clear she understood more than anyone thought before. Ravi stood beside her, his hand resting gently on the glass. He had not left her side since she spoke his name. Dr. Tanis stood behind a control panel, her arms crossed, eyes fixed on Neri. The rest of the science team watched in silence. Tanis spoke in a soft voice. Neri, can you explain what you are? How are you two different parts? Neri looked at her hands, one silver and one green. She moved them slowly, showing both sides. Life, she said, pointing to the green side. Machine, she added, touching the silver side. One heart, one mind. Tanis nodded slowly. So you are not two beings joined together. You are one whole being. Neri looked at Ravi, then at Tanis. Yes, my people, born like this. Not made, not created. Born. The team started whispering to each other. One of the younger scientists spoke aloud. But how can something be part machine and still be born? Neri heard the question. She closed her eyes and touched her chest. A soft light rose from her body and formed a shape in the air. It showed a round pod, like an egg floating in water. Inside the egg, a small creature grew. One side shimmered silver, the other side pulsed green. It grew larger until it broke free and opened its eyes. This is our way, Neri said. From old time, from before stars were mapped. Ravi's eyes were wide. So your people always had both parts? You were never changed? No, Neri said. Not changed. Whole. Always whole. Tanis walked closer. Then why were you taken? Why were you sent in that crate? Neri lowered her head. Hunters came, from far sky, took many of us, said we were too strong, said we must be studied. She raised her head again, and her voice shook slightly. They cut one. She died. They cut another. He burned. Then they came for me. I escaped. A helper sent me in that box. Ravi's voice was tight. And you were sent here by mistake. Yes, Neri said. I slept. I waited. Tanis looked down at the data tablet in her hand. The scans now made sense. The perfect balance inside. Neri's body could not survive being broken. Cutting her in half would have destroyed her. She looked up at her team. We almost made a mistake, a very big one. Neri looked around the room again. You were going to break me. Ravi stepped in. But we didn't. We stopped in time. And now we know. Neri nodded once. Because of you. Tanis felt a heavy feeling in her chest. She had followed orders. She had trusted data over voice, reports over emotion. But now, face to face with a living being, she saw things differently. She looked at her team. All study stops now. No cutting, no harm. We are no longer dealing with a subject. We are dealing with a person. Dr. Var nodded. What should we do then? We ask, Tanis said. We talk, we listen. For the next few hours, the lab changed. Scientists took notes, not tests. Questions were asked with gentle voices. Neri answered them one at a time. She explained that her people were called the Dara. They lived on a planet filled with deep rivers, tall silver trees, and skies that glowed green at night. Their world was peaceful. They did not fight. They learned to live with balance, just like their bodies. But why are you half machine? One scientist asked. Neri smiled softly. We are not machine, not metal. We are weave of light and cell. The silver part holds energy. The green part holds life. We grow with both. Tanis wrote every word carefully. This was not something Earth science had seen before. A living being born with full harmony between life and technology. It was more than a discovery. It was a new kind of life. Later, Neri asked for something strange. I want to show Ravi, she said. Show him what? Tanis asked. My memory, my truth. Ravi agreed without fear. Tanis allowed them to sit near each other. A soft screen was placed between them for safety, though Neri seemed calm. She reached out and placed 2 fingers on Ravi's forehead. A small light passed between them. Suddenly, Ravi saw flashes in his mind. He saw Neri as a small child, playing in a glowing forest. He saw her parents, both like her, smiling and gentle. He saw her village, full of singing and light. Then the sky turned black. Ships appeared. Fire rained down. He saw her people running, screaming. He saw machines grab them, take them into dark halls. He saw Neri placed in a clear box. He saw a friend help her escape, send her away in a crate, whispering to her not to give up. Then the vision ended. Ravi gasped and stepped back. His eyes were wet. "I saw it," he said. "I saw it all." Neri looked at him. "Now you know." Ravi turned to Tanis. "We can't keep her here. They might come. The ones who hunted her people, they might follow her." Tanis nodded. "We must protect her." One of the guards entered the room. He held a small tablet in his hand. "Doctor, we received a message from Earth. A ship is coming. They want the subject transferred to Central Lab." Tanis took the tablet and read the message. Her face turned pale. Ravi looked at her. "What is it?" "They're sending a team to take Neri," she said. "And they're not coming to ask questions. They want to finish what we stopped." Ravi looked at Neri. She was calm, but her eyes showed fear. "We can't let them take her," Ravi said. "Not after everything." Tanis looked at Ravi, then at Neri. "Then we'll need a plan." 3 days passed quietly after Neri's memories were shared with Ravi. She remained inside the clear room in Lab Section C, but the sharp lights were dimmed now, and the tools had been removed. A soft mat was placed for her to rest, and food, suitable for her body, was prepared by the science team. Ravi stayed with her most of the time. Dr. Tanis often watched them, noting how Neri responded better to him than to any machine or screen. But the peace did not last. On the morning of the 4th day, a large ship appeared near Space Station Amun. Its body was dark gray with red lights around the edge. The name, Earth Command Vessel 3, was painted on the side. A message came through. "We are here to collect Subject 9. Prepare her for immediate transfer." Dr. Tanis stood at the command center, holding the message in her hand. Ravi was beside her, watching her face. "They're not even calling her by her name," he said. "They see her as property," Tanis replied, "not as life." The officer at the command desk, Officer Wren, stepped forward. "Should we prepare her for transport?" "No," Tanis said. "Not yet. I need time to explain things to the team." Officer Wren gave her a cold look, but did not argue. Tanis left the command center and walked straight to the lab. Inside, Neri sat cross-legged, her body calm. Ravi was already there, speaking to her in a soft voice. When she saw Tanis, Neri stood and moved to the edge of the glass. "They are here," she said. "I can feel it." "Yes," Tanis answered. "They came from Earth. They want to take you." "I do not want to go." "I know," Tanis said. "But if we say no, they may bring force." Neri looked at Ravi. "Will you let them take me?" "No," Ravi said. "I promise I will stop them." Tanis nodded. "Then we must prepare, not to fight, but to escape." She walked to the other side of the lab and opened a small locker. Inside was a map of the station. She placed it on the table and pointed at Dock Bay 3. "There's an old shuttle there," she said. "It hasn't flown in years, but the engine still works. I checked it last night." Ravi's eyes lit up. "We can fly it?" "Yes, if we move fast," she said. "The Earth team will land in less than 2 hours." "Who will help us?" Ravi asked. "I've already spoken to Zaman," she said. "He's with the repair crew. He can keep the docking doors open a little longer. That will buy us time." Neri listened quietly. Then she said, "I will follow you. I trust you." Ravi smiled at her. "We won't let them hurt you again." Tanis pressed a small button, and the glass wall around Neri opened with a soft sound. For the first time since she arrived, she stepped out into the open lab. Her movements were slow but graceful. Her silver foot made no sound on the floor. Her green hand reached out and touched Ravi's shoulder. "I am ready," she said. They moved quickly. Ravi led the way through the back halls of the station. Tanis followed with a data pad, checking camera feeds and door locks. Neri stayed between them, quiet and alert. Outside, in the main docking area, the Earth team had arrived. Commander Brell stepped off the ship wearing a dark blue uniform. His face was hard, and his voice louder than needed. "Where is the subject?" he asked. Officer Wren met him. "Dr. Tanis is bringing her shortly." "She better," Brell said. "We won't wait long." Behind him, 2 more guards stepped forward with shock sticks and cuffs. They were not here for science. They were here for control. Meanwhile, Ravi and Tanis reached the side entrance of Dock Bay 3. Zaman stood at the corner, holding a small tool in his hand. "I kept the pressure door from sealing," he said, "but it won't last long." "Thank you," Ravi said. Zaman looked at Neri. His eyes widened. "She's really alive." "Yes," Ravi said, "and we're going to keep her safe." Zaman nodded. "Go. I'll cover the hallway." They entered the dock. The old shuttle was small but strong. It was built for 4 people and had simple flight controls. Tanis jumped into the pilot seat and began pressing buttons. "Systems. Coming online," she said. "Fuel is low, but enough to reach the moon colony on Varan 6. Ravi helped Neri into the seat beside him. Her eyes looked around the shuttle. She touched the control panel gently. Lights began to blink. "You're helping the ship?" Ravi asked. "Yes," Neri said. "I understand machines. I can speak to them." Tanis smiled. "Good. Then let's fly." Suddenly, the door behind them opened. Commander Brell stood in. "The entrance with 2 guards. Stop right there," he shouted. "This is Earth property. Return the subject." "She's not property," Ravi said. "She has a name. Her name is Neri." Brell stepped forward. "Move aside, or I'll use force." Neri stood slowly. She raised her hand. A soft light began to shine from her palm. "I do not want to harm," she said. "But I will not go with you." Brell raised his hand to signal his guards. Before they could move, the shuttle doors shut and Tanis started the engine. The ship shook, then lifted into the air. Brell slammed his hand on the wall. "Open the dock doors." Zaman stood at the control panel outside and pressed a final button. The doors opened just wide enough. The shuttle passed through with a burst of fire. They were free. Inside the shuttle, Ravi looked at Neri. "You did it." Neri placed her hand over her chest. "We did it." Tanis smiled as the stars appeared in the window ahead. "Now we just have to stay ahead of them." The shuttle flew fast through the black space. Stars blinked on all sides, but Ravi kept his eyes on Neri. She sat still beside him, her silver eye watching the stars, her green eye fixed ahead. Tanis was in the pilot seat, checking the controls. "Every few seconds. We're clear of the station," Tanis said. "But they're behind us. The Earth ship is moving to follow." Ravi leaned forward. "Can we outrun them?" "Not for long," Tanis said. "Their engines are stronger, but we're smaller and lighter. If we reach the asteroid belt before they catch up, we might lose them." Neri placed her hand on the shuttle's dashboard. A soft glow spread from her fingers. The engine gave a low hum, then grew steadier. "I am helping," she said. "Your machine speaks to me. It wants to move faster." Tanis looked back, surprised. "You understand our engine?" Neri nodded. "I feel its parts. I guide the power lines." The shuttle moved faster, its speed rising without warning. The stars outside became lines of light. "Good work," Tanis said. "You're doing better than our best pilot." Neri smiled slightly. Behind them, the Earth Command ship picked up speed. Inside that ship, Commander Brell stood in front of a wide screen. "The shuttle is gaining distance," the officer said. "They have help," Brell replied. "That girl is controlling the ship from inside. We must stop them before they vanish." He turned to the weapon team. "Prepare an EMP pulse. It will shut down their ship without destroying it." Back in the small shuttle, Tanis picked up a signal on the screen. "They're charging something," she said. "A weapon." "What kind?" Ravi asked. Tanis tapped the screen. "It looks like an EMP. If they hit us, the ship will lose power. We'll be floating in space." Neri closed her eyes. Her hands pressed harder on the controls. "I can protect the ship for a short time, but only once." Tanis looked at the star map. "We need to hide. We're close to the asteroid field near Varan 6. If we enter it, we can break their lock. On us." "Will that be safe?" Ravi asked. "No," Tanis said, "but staying out here is worse." "Then we do it," Ravi said. Tanis guided the shuttle toward the thick part of the field. Large rocks moved slowly, spinning in strange directions. Some were as big as towers, others small like balls. "Hold on," she said. "This will get rough." The shuttle entered the field. The ship dipped under one rock, then turned sideways to avoid another. Inside, everything shook. Neri's light moved across the panel as she worked to keep the engines calm. Suddenly, a sound rang out. The EMP pulse had been fired. A wave of blue energy sped toward them. "I see it," Tanis said. "It's almost here." Neri's silver hand glowed bright. She raised it and placed it against the side wall of the shuttle. "Now," she said. A soft shield of light spread around the shuttle. The wave of energy hit it and broke apart like water on stone. The shield flickered, but held. The shuttle slowed, slightly, but kept moving. "You did it," Ravi said. Neri looked tired. "Only once. I need rest." "Then rest," Ravi said. "We'll take care of the rest." Tanis flew deeper into the field. The Earthship stayed back, too large to follow, without risk. The rocks moved too fast for a big ship. The shuttle zigzagged through the space rocks until the tracker showed no more signals behind them. "We made it," Tanis said. They stopped chasing. Ravi let out a long breath. "Where are we now?" "Close to the Varan 6 moon colony," Tanis said. "A few more minutes?" Neri sat quietly, her hand still touching the ship wall. "You can sleep," Ravi said. "We're safe now." Neri looked at him. "You kept your promise." "I said I would." She leaned back in her seat. Her body glowed softly, but her eyes closed. After some time, the colony came into view. It was built on the dark side of a small moon, hidden under a large mountain. Lights blinked from inside the base. The shuttle sent a signal. "This is Dr. Tanis from Space Station Amun," Tanis said. "Requesting emergency landing. We carry a passenger in danger. She is not a threat." There was silence for a moment. Then a voice answered. "Permission granted. Bay 3 is open." The shuttle landed gently inside the colony dock. The metal doors closed behind them. Air filled the chamber. A soft green light turned on. Ravi helped Neri out of her seat. Tanis opened the hatch. A group of 4 people stood waiting. One of them stepped forward. She wore a long coat and had calm eyes. "I am Mira," she said, "head of the Varan 6 moon colony. We received your message. We are ready to listen." Tanis stepped aside. Neri moved forward. Her feet touched the ground. Her eyes opened again. "I come in peace," she said. "I ask only for a place to stay." Mira looked at her without fear. "You are safe here." Ravi smiled. For the first time, Neri smiled too. Inside the colony, they were given rooms. The people of the moon colony were kind and curious. They asked questions with soft voices. No one tried to touch or scan Neri. They treated her like a guest. Ravi sat beside her, in the quiet room later that night. "Do you think they will come again?" she asked. "Maybe," Ravi said. But not here. Not now. She nodded. I feel peace here. You deserve peace, Ravi said. Outside the room, the stars still moved. But inside, Neri had found something more than safety. She had found trust, and she had found a friend who never gave up. Ravi stood near the window of the moon colony. His eyes looked up at the stars. Behind him, the sound of soft voices echoed in the halls. Scientists moved through the colony with quiet steps. Robots rolled by, carrying supplies and tools. Life here was simple, but safe. Inside the room, Neri was sitting cross-legged on a floor mat. Her eyes were closed, and soft light flowed from her hands. Small, glowing shapes danced in the air around her. Tanis stood nearby, watching in silence. She is healing, Tanis said. Not just her body, her heart too. Ravi nodded. She smiles more now. Tanis walked to the table. We've sent a report to the Earth Council. We explained everything, what she is, what they did to her, what we saw. Will they believe us? Ravi asked. They have to, Tanis replied. We have proof. Scans, data, and the voice files from the station. Just then, Mira entered the room. The leader of the colony looked calm, but her steps were quick. They answered, she said. Ravi and Tanis stood up. Neri opened her eyes. What did they say? Tanis asked. They want a meeting, Mira said. They asked to speak directly. With the girl. Neri stood. Will they try to take me again? No, Mira said. We told them the colony will not allow force. They agreed. This time they only want words. Ravi looked at Neri. You don't have to speak with them if you don't want to. Neri stepped forward. I will speak. They must hear the truth from me. Inside the meeting hall of the moon colony, a large screen lit up. A group of Earth Council leaders appeared. Their faces were clear, their voices sharp. We are the Earth Council, said one of them. We thank you for protecting the alien life form. We are sorry for the mistake at the station. Mira stood beside Neri. Her name is Neri. She is not a life form. She is a person. One of the council members looked at the files. We have reviewed your report. We now understand that Neri is not a weapon or tool. She is a living being with intelligence and emotion. Another council member leaned forward. Neri, do you wish to speak? Neri stepped up. Her voice was calm. You took me without asking. You hurt me to find answers. I did not fight. I waited. I hoped. The room was silent. I come from a place far beyond your stars, she said. I was not sent to invade. I was lost, broken, and weak. But Ravi saved me. He spoke to me like a friend. Ravi looked down, then back up. He gave me water. He gave me safety. He gave me something more than your machines ever could. He gave me trust. One of the leaders spoke. We are truly sorry. You should not have been harmed. Neri nodded once. Now I ask this. Will you stop fearing the things you do not understand? The leader answered slowly. We will try. That is all we can promise. Another voice from the council spoke. Neri, do you wish to stay on the moon colony? Or do you wish to leave Earth space? Neri looked at Ravi. He smiled. You decide. Wherever you go, you will not be alone anymore. I will stay for now, Neri said. Here, I feel calm. The council ended the call. The screen turned black. Mira turned to Neri. You spoke well, she said. You gave them something they did not expect. What was that? Neri asked. Hope, Mira said. The days passed quietly after the meeting. Scientists from Earth sent peaceful messages. Some asked to learn from Neri. Some sent books and small gifts. One even sent a painting of a star and a green eye. Neri spent her time helping the engineers. She could speak with machines. Old systems started working better. Broken parts worked again without tools. Everyone respected her. Tanis worked in the lab, writing down what she had seen. Her report would be read by schools and leaders. She said it might help other alien visitors in the future. Ravi stayed near Neri. Sometimes they walked near the colony glass walls and watched the stars. Sometimes they said nothing. They just stood side by side. One day, Neri called Ravi to her. "Room." "There is something I must tell you," she said. He sat down. "What is it?" "I have remembered more," she said. "Before I came here, I was running from something. My home was falling apart. Many of my kind are lost." "Where are they now?" Ravi asked. "I don't know," Neri said. "But I feel them. Some are alive." She opened her palm. A soft map appeared full of glowing lines. "I want to find them." Ravi looked at the map. "Then we will." Neri blinked. "You will come with me?" He nodded. "Of course. You saved us. Now it's our turn to help you." She smiled. "We may be gone for a long time." "I packed snacks," Ravi said. She laughed, a light sound that filled the room. Tanis walked in, holding a small metal box. "You'll need this," she said. "It's a beacon. If you ever need help, send a signal. We'll find you." Mira entered with her hands behind her back. "And one more gift," she said. She handed Neri a small silver ring. "It's a mark of peace from this colony. Wherever you go, this will show you are a friend of Earth." Neri took the ring and placed it on her finger. "Thank you," she said. The next day, the shuttle was ready. It was fixed and filled with supplies. Neri and Ravi stood inside it. Tanis and Mira watched from the landing dock. "Be safe," Tanis said. "Be strong," Mira added. The shuttle lifted off the ground. The stars opened before them. Ravi took the pilot seat. Neri sat beside him. "Ready?" she asked. "Always," he said. The shuttle turned and moved into the deep sky. Behind them, the moon grew small. Ahead of them, the stars grew bright. A new journey had begun, not just for Neri, but for all of them. A journey of trust, friendship, and something even greater than science, hope.